Hello, welcome back. Thank you for watching. I have not been posting in the last week or so. I've been a little occupied with other stuff going on and haven't been able to focus very much on chess, which is evident in my rating. I've taken a huge hit in my rating down to 1741. But we're going to see if we can't get a good game in. A Dutch or Grunfeld? Let's go with a Dutch. I've been focused on compiling PhD applications. I'm looking at returning to grad school and working on my PhD. So that's really been kind of all consuming lately. And while I have been squeezing in some games, this and this, the ideas in the Leningrad, I like to play the Leningrad Dutch. E6 is the classical, and I could play a classical or a stone wall, but the Leningrad is where I'm most familiar. So yeah, looking to return to grad school. That's where my head is. So knight f3. I just continue. Good idea to go ahead and fink out of the bishop if you prepared it and there's no other pressing matters. This move is designed to support an e5 push. I'll probably play this either next or after I castle. I'm not sure, it kind of depends. White's queen will often come out to the b3 square. Now that I've weakened this g8 a1, g8 a2 diagonal, this is a source of constant worry for me in the Dutch, but it's part of the nature of the game. You don't play the Dutch wanting to play a risk-free opening. You play it for double-edged positions in an attack, and things get messy. So he's brought his bishop out to f4, aimed at stopping my e5 push. I'm going to want to bring the queen over to e8 to support e5. He's going to try and undermine me immediately. Well then. Pushing e5 immediately does not work because there are 3 defenders of that square, and I only have the one defender if I push. Could think about ideas of knight h5 attacking the bishop, and I can win the bishop pair. He'd likely retreat, and if I take, he could open up his rook. But I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm going to go ahead and win his dark square bishop and just take the bishop pair. If he leaves it here, it'll allow him to clamp down on e5 even more. But now I have an idea of maybe e5 immediately if he doesn't retreat the bishop. If he leaves the bishop here, say some move, I go e5 now, and he takes. Huh. Trying to danger level me? If I take, he takes attacking the queen. Take here first with check. He takes. And then I take. He's won a pawn. I'd be giving him a second pawn, but I would win both pawns back. So the question is that resulting position one that I want to play. Knight takes, pawn takes, probably the e-pawn. Attacking the queen. Knight takes g2 check. He has to take back with the bishop. And then I take with the queen. Six pawns to six pawns. He's got 3 pawn islands. I've got 2. But he has 2 central pawns. Neither one of them are passers, but he does control the center. And his bishop is open on the long diagonal. I can stunt that. I think I do like that because his king will probably be stuck in the center. He can choose to castle king's side, but he's already missing a defender around his king if he does that. Where's my time? 12:12. Okay. Doing good on time management. Got a little bit of time to think this out. My other option, of course, is just to take back immediately. I can take back and have my central pawn like 2-on-2 in the center. You can have symmetrical pawn structures with an open C file. And he retreats the bishop. And I mean, the bishop's not going anywhere. Oh, I don't know why I didn't think of that. I mean, he can definitely just move his bishop here. If I don't take, he attacks my queen, and I lose out on the bishop pair, at least immediately. But I do get the central pawns. And if he goes here and I move my queen, he's just walking into a nasty little trap there. I think I take back and maintain my central pawn majority, or not majority, but equality. The other was messy, which has an appeal to me, but I didn't see anything concrete out of it. And I also didn't like the fact that he had 2 pawns in the center and I had none. So he develops with tempo. He checks me. Takes control of that weakened diagonal that I have voluntarily weakened. I can block with the pawn. That weakens my d6 pawn. I can move to the corner, which invites him to retreat his bishop. If I push the pawn, he goes queen b3, the threat is renewed. I go queen e8. I defend my e6 pawn, and I hang this pawn. So I'd have to go rook e8, bring my rook off the f file, which I don't really want to do since I've extended this f pawn. I'd like to leave my rook there. So the corner it is. It avoids, this being an immediate tempo gainer. It still looks like a good move. It applies pressure to b7, ties down my bishop for a minute, but I'm not immediately required to respond to it. So he's giving me the option of winning the bishop pair again, still. And that clamps down on e5. But if I push e5 myself, Knight takes, pawn takes, e5, f takes e, d takes e, d takes e, bishop takes e. This knight protects it as well. So the knight's still there. I need to prepare e5 still with queen e8. Which is a standard idea in the Dutch. I push the kingside pawns. At the right moment, I will continue pushing the kingside pawns and open up this light square diagonal for the queen to join the attack. Chess is so much about timing. When you have the tempo, when you can actually make the moves. And if you wait too long, you might miss out. So knight takes bishop, e takes e5. Do I need to take with the knight? Can I go e5 immediately? E5, d takes e, d takes e, bishop takes e, bishop takes e, knight takes e, queen takes e. So that's equal. But he's not forced to take. He can move the bishop, which I've already demonstrated I could attack again and get a few tempo out of it. This queenside's looking mighty neglected over here as well. Down to 7 minutes and 53 seconds. My opponent has 13:49, so I need to pick my candidates and choose. So this is my candidate, this is my candidate, and maybe just a simple developing move. Knight c6. That also supports an e5 push. Knight c6 is a decent idea, but it invites d5, which would close off this light square diagonal. Where would I go with the knight? I think this is the push. I think I do this now. Okay, he does move it. So I can just attack and push my pawns a little further, which was already my plan. Gain a little more space. He's giving me the bishop, and he's threatening this fork. So I defend the fork. He's also threatening this fork. So this move won't defend both threats. The only move I see that defends both is queen d2, d7, queen d7. I'm on the black pieces. Then takes and takes. Takes and takes. We swap queens. I take and he wins my rook. So I don't think I can take back immediately. What about deflecting the bishop? Well, then he just proceeds with his fork. So queen d7 and takes. And maybe I just take the bishop here. I'll give him 2 pawns for the piece, 3 pawns for the piece, because his knight's going to come here. That's kind of dangerous. Because the knight and the bishop will coordinate on this f7 square. Down to 5 minutes. Um, Suppose I can give the exchange for the 2 minors if I go queen d7. I think that's my move. I've got to move and not keep spending time. To threaten my knight. And that allow me to take? Is he just giving me a pawn? Yeah, that just gives me a pawn and opens up my rook. Okay. Just threaten a check and winning the exchange. I'm going to have tripled pawns here, which looks a little bit uncomfortable. It's being pretty resourceful, though. Give him that. Um, at the moment, I can defend it with the king. He brings the queen in, and all of a sudden I've got problems. Okay. I'm going to take 2 minors for the exchange. And a pawn. He checks, I take, or I advance the king to get out check is my only move. He takes, I take this diagonal. My king's looking very exposed, but I can't keep thinking. I've got to use my time wisely. Spent a lot of time thinking. Now he probably comes here. That gives me a chance to save the rook, though. Oh, no. Because he'd win the queen. I gotta block this bishop. And he can have it, but I'll take the bishop. That's a clever move too. Maybe I can take the knight. So if I took the rook, he had this knight fork here. Okay. I was waiting for that move. So he's got two attackers. I've got two defenders in the king and queen. I think I need to get my knight out so I can get my other rook in. Or maybe to h8. I don't know which yet. I is sneaky. I take and I give up my rook. And checkmate. So I can't take. I just move the queen. Mm, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay. That also seems to be a free piece, but I am tied down to the defense of the rook. Now he's got an extra attacker on the rook as well. So it's getting ugly. Ugly, ugly. If I take the rook, queen takes, and that's mate. But I think if I take the knight, queen takes. I'm still guarding this square, but he's got this square. It's mate either way. Mate either way. What if I don't see a way out of this. I think I'm going to lose this game because I can't take either piece, even though both are hanging. And going to lose a rook. These light squares are way too weak. So I did not do a great job calculating this. And I'm in a terrible position. So thinking about rook here. That loses me my queen. Queen takes. Queen takes. No, he wouldn't lead with the queen. He'd lead with the bishop. Maybe that is my only move. I can't see any other options. So the knight. I got to get my king out of the way. That's not a legal move because the knight guards that square. And I'm threatened with a discovered check. So this is just it. Resign. This is a good game. Good game. Sorry, I hit the resign button, but timeout. Made in 15. There was no way out of that. I would have liked that to have been a better game, but I played a very sharp and tactical opening without the mindset to back it up. Opponent played two brilliant moves, and I only had one blunder. So I played with 98.4% accuracy. Congratulations, opponent. I have achieved such scores myself, so I know that those are attainable. 2550. Played that game like a champ. So here's my blunder. I should not have taken the pawn. Shouldn't have taken the pawn. That was a mistake. That was a huge error. White only has a 1.1 advantage here. Joined in March of this year. Very curious. Very curious. This is all book. It's a brilliant move. That's his brilliancy. Or his first one, at least. I mean, it is a natural looking move. I would think at this level that the instinct would be to protect the bishop. Or do something with that bishop. But the bishop is law. Well, it's not entirely lost. It can be retreated. And this pawn defends. Not really, though, because I push again, and the rook backs it up. So I guess the bishop is lost. And you can kind of give up on that. I can see how you can draw that conclusion. Blunder. Good move. And I am up a crick from here on out. That was a brilliant move. And I kind of had I have a hard time thinking that a 1740 found that move. Maybe. I mean, it is very possible. I have found such moves myself. I'm skeptical. And it might just be surly because I lost the game, but good finds. Very good finds from my opponent. And I mean, I'm finding good moves as well. Best moves in a lot of situations, but it was not good enough. He played the middle game brilliantly. So well done to my opponent. And I'm going to try and give you some higher quality games. I mean, this was fairly high quality itself. I just came out on the wrong end of it. And I can see how the Dutch can go very wrong very quickly. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and all that stuff, and come back and watch some more chess.